everybody, and welcome back to another episode. My name is Dana, and I am your host. And our guest today is Alicia Johnston. Hello, Alicia. How are you?
I'm very well, Dina. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you for your time. Why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, all that kind of jazz.
Sure. I come from the corporate IT world. Opened my own business last year, and actually, one of my last projects was working with CMMC, and so it was very top of mind for me. And I understand the complexities of rolling that out and getting things underway when it comes to that. It could be daunting at first.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think there's a lot of overwhelming factors when it comes to CMMC, and anybody that can help somebody break it down a little bit, it's like a little piece of mind, another little piece of mind. So that's great. And you have an awesome topic. So today we're going to talk about security awareness training. And, a lot of people don't like awareness training, and we're going to just get into a little bit about it. So what is it? What is security awareness training?
Sure. So security awareness training is what you give to your employees. You set this up. There's a lot of different programs out there, basically just to set it and forget it. First, we're going to do phishing tests. So we'll send out a test and see who falls for it, basically. It's an important part of the process, though, to see where your level is at, where your employees' level is at. And after that, we continually test them. We continually train them. I like to keep everything at a 5-minute, 3 to 5 minutes these days. Those 20-minute videos just aren't hitting it anymore.
Mm-hmm. I know the TikTok world that we live in, everybody has about a 1-minute attention span.
That's about it.
So that's good. Nice and short. Okay. All right. So how does training my employee fit into the CMMC compliance? Because I know this is part of it.
Yeah, it is. There's plenty of sections in CMMC you can look at and see which hits which standard, but it's 100% necessary. And let's also not forget that the number one vector for ransomware and all the malicious things that are happening to us in cyberspace is coming through email. And so it's so super important to train your employees. They're the way in. They've got the doors wide open, and you've got to train them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think a lot of people still want to look at CMMC or any other kind of compliance as a check the box. Okay, let's put some kind of, hardware or software in place and it's just going to take care of it. And you're absolutely right. It's the people. The people are the ones that are causing the problem. So we really need to focus on making sure that they're involved in the overall protection of this, because you're right. If we just took away email, we would solve so many problems. I know we can't do that, but if we did, we would solve a lot of problems. So yeah, that's why it's important for that. Okay. So how do I keep my employees from groaning about yet another training class by their employer?
Well, training fatigue is a real thing, and it's not just the IT department that's pushing out training, right? You've got security, compliance, you've got safety, you've got so many departments competing for that training time. And while they're all very important, they're all very necessary part of policy, we have to understand, it is our responsibility as an employee to keep that business safe. The other way that I really get people to get into the training, this isn't just for your job. This is for your private life too. And once you bring that emotion of it being applicable to their personal life, it really changes the story and helps you push that training out. And I don't ever recommend doing anything more than, every once a quarter, once a month, whatever your culture will tolerate. But yeah, don't push too much on them.
Well, I do think you're absolutely right with when you teach someone how to help protect themselves, their family, their kids, their home, now with all these smart devices. I mean, their elder parents, scams that they should be aware of for that. When you're talking about those things, not only is it bringing it top of mind, so you're always kind of aware of it, but it does change your thought pattern when you're dealing with things like this. And, if somebody says, oh, that's great, I just learned something that I could help protect, I should have this conversation with my kid, or I should tell my parents about this, or, oh, I didn't realize Alexa's actually doing that. So when you're telling people these things, it's bringing all security to, like I said, top of mind. And then it changes the way that they just kind of work with everything. So that it's naturally going to spill over to the workplace, and they're going to better protect, the organization. And you'll gain their interest in it because it's helping them specifically as a person, not just, oh, you're an employee and this is what you have to do. it has a lot more buy-in to it. And I think also, the smart homes, I always bring that up because, these new devices, everybody just loves to take them out of the box and plug them right in. And they're not thinking about the security implications along with some of these things. So, that, and even their own home computer, right? So you can get phishing emails at your home computer, right? So now you're teaching them what to look for. And once they kind of have a little bit more familiarity with some of the signs to look for, then they can, help protect themselves. And like I said, their home computer too. So
Soundway Consulting has been helping the U.S. government and its business partners address today's most complex cyber challenges for over a decade. Soundway Consulting is a CMMC C3PAO candidate. Let them be your expert guide to CMMC compliance. They will provide a clear path to implementing cybersecurity processes and practices. They have a proven track record, and they warranty their work. Visit soundwayconsulting.com or call their office today.
They get excited about it too. Once they start to learn, every time I implement a training system, security awareness training, they'll come back to me, Alicia, look at this email I got. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything with it. They just send me a screenshot of it, but they get excited,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So in addition to the phishing emails, I mean, do you do any kind of general like presentations where you're talking to them about, that your employer is probably not going to like send you an email saying, go buy the gift cards or requesting you to do anything like that via an email, and that you should check some other way with them. I know there's more than just email, but.
I do. Aside from, the standard set it and forget it training, sure, we have real conversations about what's happening out in the world. And yeah, Dana, gift cards are still a thing. People are still running out to get the gift cards for their CEO who's in an important meeting and can't talk right now.
Mm-hmm. And that tactic works perfectly because it's their boss. So they want to make sure that they're following orders from their boss, and they play up the urgency factor. I'm busy in a meeting right now, and can you really go do this quickly? It's like, oh my goodness, and he needs it done right now. So and it is amazing that a lot of people still have not heard of that gift card scam.
I know,
obviously, because we're in this world, but we got to spread that message that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I get some wide eyes sometimes when I tell some stories about things that have happened. And yeah, so that's what I do. I spread the word, whether it's a lunch and learn, wherever I'm going, I'm always talking about passwords and training.
Yeah, and
the quick wins, the easy stuff people can get done without a professional behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the password's another thing, teaching them that, new employees, no one from HR is going to call you and say, hey, we need to keep track of your login information. Can you give me your credentials? Little things like that if someone doesn't tell somebody, they don't know, they don't know that that's not going to happen. Same thing with incident response planning. That's something that if we don't talk to our employees about that, they're not going to know what to do. And everybody's left to their own demise of what they do. So, that's part of the training, I'm sure, too, is to say, okay, if you suspect something, this is what you should do as an employee kind of thing. So
think about it. I'm always think before you click. Think before everything. Read that email one more time. Is there something weird about it? I keep mentioning email because that's, mostly where it's coming in. But could be anything. Larger corporations, you don't know who your IT department is, right? Mm-hmm. IT calls you, hey, this is Alicia from IT. Can I get your password?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And what's that code that I just sent to your phone? They don't know who's the IT department. So, yeah, there's a lot of ways in. There's texting, phone calls, and it can all come together from a campaign. LinkedIn, look at all the information you got on LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. They know everything about me now, so they could create the malicious actor could create a bad a campaign against you. Yeah.
So here's a good question. So what are some quick wins that we could have, some awareness quick training wins?
So 100% think before you click. We're all okay. I'm not going to click on the attachment. Okay, fine. Don't click on a link. Don't reply to the email unless you're really sure who it's from. Once you reply, Dana, and it's malicious, they got you. Mm-hmm. They did their phishing. They hooked you. Now they reeled you in, and now they know you're a target. Mm-hmm. So be real careful about email. Security in general, I have to say it, enable multi-factor authentication. Mm-hmm. Just do it. Just did it for a client last week. They took a big deep breath after we were done and were just so happy and couldn't believe that all this stuff was pretty much wide open with just a password. So there's a lot of easy things you can do that doesn't require a high level of technical acumen to get done. Enable MFA, think before you click, kind of common sense things, but you don't know what you don't know, right, Dana? So keep yourself apprised. They're talking about it on the news. When they start talking about cybersecurity on the news, now we know. We're like, see, we told you.
Yep. Yeah. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So that's what we got to think about too. And multi-factor authentication nowadays is really not that big of a deal. If you just send you a little thing to your phone and you just have to, yes, approved, that's really it. I think that's what everybody's fear is. Oh, here we go. I got a whole nother step I got to do, to get into my computer. This is going to take so much time. And it really does not take any time at all. And it's a big, huge difference between not having it and having it.
It does. And I think about it like this. Let's take it down to just a real world example. Think about your front door. Do you always lock your front door top and bottom? Sure you do. Does it take a little extra to open the top lock? Of course it does. Does sometimes the key get stuck and it's like, oh, it's annoying? Yeah. But guess what? That I would rather have top and bottom lock than just the bottom lock, right?
Yep, absolutely. Because somebody can get their hands on a key, and that's the same thing as getting a hands on a password.
There you go.
Well, this was great. Is there anything else you want to throw out there that you can think of? Or, you covered a lot of awesome stuff here, so this is good.
Good. No, multi-factor authentication, passwords, think before you click.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate this. And thank everybody for watching.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye, Dana.
Bye-bye.